Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the headphone jack in the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. I'll include a link in the video description for any tools that I'm going to be using during this repair today. And just wanted to show you really quick, I'm going to be using a suction cup tool, and I'm going to be using this little thin pry tool. Now this is a really thin pry tool. I'll link to this in the description so you can find it. It's the only one that I found that was thin enough to go in this reveal right here. This is very tight on this Galaxy S6 Edge. So this is the only one that worked for me. And we're going to be using a Phillips screwdriver size 000 for removing any screws in this phone. If you get a tool set, just make sure that it has the size 000 in there and you should be all set. I'll include links for any parts that I'm going to be replacing today as well. Anything that I think might be helpful to you, I'll include links in the video description, so check them out there. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that your device is powered off. So go ahead and do that, and you also want to remove the SIM card tray. So we'll just go ahead and remove the SIM card tray. So next what we're going to want to do is use a hair dryer or a heat gun of some kind. I'm just using a regular hair dryer, and we're going to want to heat all the edges here all the way around. Now there's especially adhesive in the corners, but there's also some all the way around, so you want to make sure to heat it all the way around. Now don't get it too hot, get it quite warm to the touch. You might have to apply heat several times. So after you've applied some heat, now what we're going to do is you can use a little suction cup tool if you have something like this. What I'm going to be using in particular is a suction cup tool like this, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and suction this on somewhere close to the bottom like this. Then with that attached, what we're going to do is, since we can pry up a little bit, so what I end up having to do is you almost have to heat this hotter than you think you should. You just have to try it by trial and error a little bit, give it some heat. If it doesn't give way, give it a little more heat. What I ended up having to do, I started right in this corner right here, as you can see, and I got it just to where it'll start like this. So you can go ahead, and once it's pretty warm, you can just slide this around. Now be really careful, just take it a little bit at a time, don't stick this in too far. What I would recommend too is if you have some really thin guitar picks and stuff, what you can do is if you make a little room so you can get this in here right beside it, you can have that hold that so it doesn't stick back down, and then just keep working your way around. So what I would recommend also is just kind of pry up a little bit as you go. This is a little unhandy to do. Now be very careful right from this point in here in the middle section of this phone to not go in very far at all when you're going through here, because the QI charging pad is right in here and it comes in really close here, so you want to be really careful right in this area right in here. You want to not go in very far with whatever pry tool that you're using. I would recommend, if you can, it makes it hard to hold up on this, but try to take the pressure off a little bit with the suction cup tool as you go along. The one thing that's nice about the suction cup tool is you can reach across from the other side. So you can reach across the device here and you can just kind of take the pressure off a little bit as you come up. And once we get close to the top here, let's go ahead and remove our tool. Now having this pick in here allows us to be able to hold this up and just gently pick up. Now I would say just be very careful and don't rush anything. Just keep applying heat. There's nothing really that gets damaged if you apply too much heat, as long as you stay along the edge here. But just try not to do too much, but you almost have to do more than what you think you should. This is some really strong adhesive, so you want to just keep working it all the way around. And then once the adhesive lets go, you can just pry it right up. Some of this adhesive will come off, but it's okay because we're going to apply new adhesive. So the back cover comes off just like that. So next what you will want to do is grab a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and so we're going to remove, all these Phillips screws all the way around the perimeter here. We're going to remove all those 13 screws. So next, after removing all those 13 screws, and don't worry, they're all the same size, you don't have to worry about keeping them in the right order. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just grab a plastic pry tool, start somewhere in this notch right in here, just slide over. There's adhesive under this part here. Just kind of wiggle it all the way around in this corner as well. Then the QI charging pad releases, and you're just going to want to let it flop like that for now. Then what we're going to want to do is remove this metal frame all the way around here. So what I've found is if you start close to the top and you can just kind of get your fingernails in here in this edge, it wants to start separating there, so you can just get your fingernail in there, and then you can just pry up carefully, let the bottom toe last, and then this whole part comes out just like this. So next what we will want to do is remove some different connectors. So using a plastic pry tool like this, or your fingernails or something, go ahead and remove this connector right here. Let's go ahead and remove this connector right here. Remove this connector here for the earpiece speaker. Remove this connector over here. Then you'll also want to take a tweezers and remove these antenna wires right here, just by prying up on them a little bit. The next what you want to do is pry up somewheres, and the front camera will stay right in as you pry up. The motherboard logic board will be very loose by now, so we can just carefully tip it up. And then we want to remove this connector right here. And the logic board comes out just like that. Next, to change the charging port and the headphone jack, what you're going to need to do is use the Phillips screwdriver size 000 and remove these two black screws right here. Next, what you can do is just grab the whole part, and it comes apart just like that. Now, this has the charging port and the headphone jack and the microphone and different things in it. You change over to your new part, and you want to swap over these antenna cables right here. This one right here and this one right here, you're going to want to swap those over to the new part. Then once you have that done, grab your new part and peel the adhesive film off the back. And you can set it right down in there. The holes tell you right where to go. Go ahead and put your two black screws back in. To reinstall the logic board, set the logic board here. We're going to want to bring this connector up, reconnect this connector to the logic board, make sure that it's connected properly. Set this down. Now watch for all the different connectors. I'm going to use the tweezers here just so you can see easier. And watch this connector and this one, the earpiece speaker. Make sure the front camera sits down properly. Let's start reconnecting this connector right here. Reconnect this one right here. Make sure the front camera is sitting down properly. Reconnect the earpiece speaker and reconnect this connector right here. Now we're going to want to reconnect these antenna wires right here. They can be a little tricky to get lined up, but just make sure that you don't push down until they're completely flat. Then you can push them right down in, but they have to be perfectly flat in order to go on there without binding or whatever, and then they'll click right in. So make sure they're both in their channels where they're supposed to be on this side and on this side. Then we'll want to go over the connectors one more time. Make sure that this connector is connected. Make sure that this connector is connected. This one here for the front camera. This one here for the earpiece speaker. This one over here. Make sure they're all connected, and then we're all set. Next we'll want to grab this part right here. Set it right down on here. We'll want to get the bottom started first, and then just keep pressing it in. Check it to make sure that it's in all the way around. And go ahead and put all your 13 screws back in. Next we want to make sure that the QI charging pad is stuck down where it belongs. You pretty much see right where it goes. Just go ahead and stick it down on top of the battery. I would recommend putting new adhesive on the back before you reassemble, otherwise it won't stay on there tight, your back cover. And I'll have links in the video description where you can find the adhesive. So once you have your double-sided adhesive installed all the way around, now to reuse your back cover, I would recommend getting as much of this excess adhesive off the back before you start reassembling. And once you have your back cover cleaned, go ahead and just set the back cover down. Start at the top. Try to get it to set down in all the way around. And you can just press down. And if you want, you can apply some heat around here just to make sure it sets down. Reinstall your SIM card tray, power on your device, and you're all set. Thanks for watching.